Tonight in this broadcast, 4 more new coronavirus cases confirmed here in the country, bringing the total to 42. Also looking at the numbers globally, we have 686,199 cases confirmed, 32,277 deaths, and 146,402 recovered cases, with the leading country now being US with more than 120,000 cases, with President Donald Trump contemplating necessitating a lockdown. Of course, we'll be bringing you details of that and much more, especially with news here in the country. But first, the headlines. All right, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us here at Mbugua Primetime News. We have a lot lined up for you on concerning the coronavirus and updating you on what is happening here in the country and across the globe. My name is Diana Rachel Mbugua. Our sign language interpreter is Joyce Wairimo. Now, the government says it will not tolerate what it says is misleading information, more so from the political class, over the coronavirus situation. Health CS Mutahi Kagwe hitting out at Dagoretti South MP John Kiarie over his claims that the government is not being honest about the coronavirus situation.
Ministry is on fire tonight,
trying to gain political mileage out of a disease is as immoral as anyone could ever imagine.
over what it claims to be misleading information over the coronavirus situation in the country.
And why would you think that the government is not telling you the truth? To hide it for what purpose? So it's really disheartening.
With Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe now hitting out at Dagoretti South MP John Kiarie for what he says is misleading Kenyans.
For instance, we have noted that misinformation is doing the rounds in social media, where a leader in the country is claiming that there are over 7,000 people in mandatory quarantine.
According to Kagwe, the number of persons in mandatory quarantine is slightly above 2,000 and not 7,000 as claimed by Kiarie on his social media pages.
And while this may ultimately be the case, and perhaps even more people might get into quarantine, it is simply, at the moment, not true. So why would you wish, as a leader of society? It sounds like a wish. Why would you wish that 7,000 Kenyans should be in quarantine?
But it is not only Kiarie facing Kagwe's wrath tonight. Employers too are on the ministry's radar for failing to ensure their employees beat the 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew imposed by the government, which began on Friday, with Kagwe now saying the employers might be forced to provide accommodation for their employees if they release them late. And even as the numbers now hit 42, Kagwe is telling you to be ready to face the reality ahead of a rise in coronavirus cases as mass testings begin today.
That going forward, it is indeed very likely that our health facilities can and could be overrun by just the demands. And this is why we are saying this is not a government issue alone.
Out of the 4 new cases, 1 is a Kenyan, 1 American, 1 Cameroonian, and 1 Burkinabe. Nairobi leads with 31 cases, followed by Kilifi with 6 cases, Mombasa with 3, while Kwale and Kajiado tie with 1 case each.
Tracing of contacts continues and is ongoing. The total number of close contacts that we are monitoring as we speak are 1,426. Out of this number, 215 have been discharged after completing the mandatory 14-day follow-up period. Currently, our teams are monitoring nearly 1,000 people who have been in close.
Now, Dagoretti South MP John Kiarie was for the better part of today questioned by police over his claims there are 7,000 Kenyans in quarantine over coronavirus disease. Kiarie was summoned by police to the Kabete police station where he spent the better part of the afternoon answering to various questions. Head of Kabete DCI Francis Wanjau says they will now know the way forward later. Kiarie becomes the fourth person to be questioned over claims about the disease. Others include a Kenya Medical Training College student and bloggers Robert Alai and Cyprian Nyakundi. Now, moving on to families, one in Mombasa and the other in Homa Bay are crying for justice after their kin were allegedly killed by police enforcing the dusk to dawn curfew, which began on Friday. Rights groups have now weighed in on the matter, which is likely to make the already bad situation surrounding police brutality worse. In the Mombasa case, 49-year-old Hamisi Juma Mbega was allegedly attacked by GSU officers at Mkunazini area of Ujamaa in Likoni on Friday. In the Homa Bay case, Calvin Somondi, a boda rider, died on Sunday, March 29th from the injuries allegedly inflicted on him by police officers enforcing President Uhuru Kenyatta's dusk to dawn curfew.
Alikuwa amepeleka mgonjwa ambaye alikuwa ni mjamzito. Unajua ujauzito pia nao huwa haungojei masaa. Manake ndio nikasema hili swala lote la curfew lazima liangaliwe. Kwa sababu ikiwa mtu atakuwa na dharura kama huyo mama ni mjamzito na ataka kuzaa. Na kwa mfano unajua nilivyofahamishwa ni kwamba wakati akimpeleka ilikuwa curfew bado. Lakini kitambo ubebe mgonjwa umpeleke hospitali na wakati wa kurudi upo uwezekano wa masaa. Sasa naona ni askari wangekuwa pia wanachukua tahadhari ya kuuliza mtu okay umechelewa. Kwa nini? Pengine mwenyewe ni mgonjwa, yeye mwenyewe tayari alikuwa anatoka matibabu. Ni kwamba yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anajaribu kuokoa maisha ya mwingine na kwa bahati mbaya maisha yake ndio yakawa yanatangulia hata kabla ya yule ambaye alikuwa anamuokoa. Na ndio maana nikasema Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, nafikiri nafasi ni hii ya kuweza kukaa tena na kuona je, curfew inatimiza yale malengo yake ama inazidisha watu kupoteza uhai kabla ya ugonjwa kufika.
At this level we are going the wrong direction and we are actually appealing to the regional commander Mr. Yakub, because he is in charge of this region, to do something about the situation. The coastal communities cannot continue suffering in this way in the hands of the police. Strength in enforcing the curfew. Otherwise, we are going to lose more lives than the ones we are expected to lose from this pandemic that is currently engulfing the entire world.
Now, a section of churches seem to have complied with the government's directive to suspend Sunday congregations in the wake of the coronavirus scare. Now, the churches fed their flock online in a bid to enhance social distancing, but there was a catch. Most churches remained closed in different areas within Nairobi County. Take a look.
Repeat it, or you may just voice it out.
Last Sunday, in some churches, a section of the houses of worship could be seen holding Sunday service as usual, albeit with some sitting distance observed. And fast forward to a week later, and more churches seem to have heeded government's directive of suspending congregation and chose to hold Sunday services online.
As I preach today, I'm preaching to empty seats, to somebody outside there who I'm not seeing. Maybe he's seeing me through the phone or through computer, but I'm not seeing him. And I'm speaking to somebody that I'm not hearing and that I'm not seeing. It is so funny. Things have changed to this much. And so it was an experience that is so funny when you are used to preaching many people and you are used to preaching to people when they are clapping, when they are saying amen. Nobody was saying. And
the Holy Family Basilica, the Catholic Archdiocese of Mombasa and the St. Stephen's ACK joining the fold of those offering the services online.
The issue is the infection. The issue is the distancing. When we look at what is happening in the world today, and so I'll challenge the people. As the government has said, let us break the conducts. If we do that, I believe God can hear us and can remove this scourge from us. And I will challenge everyone to keep distance and to keep us so that we may keep safe.
The directive by government, however, still facing a hurdle, as just Saturday, police arrested 2 priests, several nuns and 46 congregants who were worshipping at 2 Catholic churches in Bungoma. 32 people were arrested at Christ the King Catholic Church, while 14 were seized at St. Paul's, Kandui Parish.
The NAC has directed the suspension of all church, mosques, funerals, and other social gatherings.
Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe had banned all public gathering, including the churches, where he also accused those flouting the rules of being greedy.
But some of them have decided, because of tithe and because of contributions in a church or because of contributions in other gatherings, that they must continue to do so. We all know what is happening in Italy today.
The move rubbed a section of churches the wrong way who accused the government of tampering with the freedom of worship.
It would be responsible of this government to allow this sort of behavior to continue, knowing very well what consequences they are. When you go into this kind of social gatherings, it is almost like committing suicide.
Now, Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko has called on residents and traders in particular to cooperate with health officials fumigating estates in efforts to combat COVID-19. The governor emphasized the importance of the ongoing countrywide fumigation of public places, noting that it will help reduce the spread of the virus.
Governor Sonko, together with some MCAs and senior county public health officers, led by Michael Mkoya, encouraged citizens to stay at home and adhere to presidential directives.
No, the exercise tonight we started from yesterday. We are doing the fumigation. Yeah. We are sanitizing all the areas, stages where people are doing business, kila mahali, stages. Kwa sababu we are talking ya kupigana na the coronavirus COVID-19. But what action are we taking as a government or as leaders?
Sonko said the county is using the very best chemical solution recommended by the World Health Organization for the fumigation exercise.
We have taken some urgent measures kuhakikisha we are fumigating the places zile ambazo mchana watu wamekuwa. People are always sneezing, that is nature, we avoid, people are coughing. So once they cough, if somebody is sick, anawacha hiyo virus chini. And by fumigating our stages, business places, tunaua hizo virus.
Mkoya led county health officials and health officers from the Sonko rescue team in fumigating key public and trading areas in Nairobi Eastlands area as a way of containing the virus.
This disease is a droplet infection disease, and we are all aware that it's a pandemic that has caused havoc all over the world. So what we are trying to do is to minimize the infection. And as we are all aware, our hands are active. So we are ensuring that those areas that people touch, we are ensuring that we are disinfecting them by using the recommended 0.5 solution.
The COVID-19 pandemic in Kenya is fast spreading, with almost 40 cases confirmed and one having succumbed to the strange virus.
To Mombasa County now, the county government has begun fumigating the central business district together with other residential areas in a bid to contain the spread of the coronavirus, as the country reported a total of 42 positive cases today. Now, the exercise is being conducted by the county fire office, which took advantage of the dusk to dawn curfew to spray the town. The national government is expected to start mass testing of returnees placed in mandatory quarantine. Now, a section of Kenyans took to social media over the cure of coronavirus, saying that you could But prevent yourself from the virus by taking a mixture of tea leaves and salt. The rumored vaccine of the said mixture is said to only be taken before sunrise and would guarantee your protection against contacting the deadly virus. Now, this comes even as the government continues to place stern measures against fake vaccines in the local market to cure the COVID-19. Experts have still not sought the cure for the COVID-19. Measures are in place, placed by the World Health Organization, exercise to clean your hands and practice social distancing. Of course, now Health CS has continued to rubbish any claims of misinformation and, of course, ask Kenyans to stop spreading misinformation. All right, now traders at Madaraka Market in Makongeni area, Thika, have come up with new measures in a bid to take requisite precautions to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Among the drastic measures they have taken include an advisory to customers from other counties not to set foot in Madaraka Market until the corona pandemic is over. Traders from Madaraka Market in Thika, Kiambu County, say they would start to emulate what restaurants and hotels are doing by delivering goods to customers at different zones or at their homes. The traders have lamented that since the market's closure, they have experienced great losses. Marianne Wamoyo, a trader at the market who sells green maize, says she has gone at a loss of about 280,000 shillings after they were tear-gassed by police, leaving them no choice but to leave their goods unattended. She has called on the county government of Kiambu to compensate them, lamenting they were not given any notice.
Soko zile zingine kama Wangige, Kikuyu na Kidurai niliona wamepewa barua. Mbona sisi hatukupewa notice ya kuambiwa fungeni? Tulistukiwa tu asubuhi na ni siku ya soko. Kila mtu ameleta mzigo yake Monday. Tukuje kuanza kuuza. Alafu sasa yenyewe hujauza ndio polisi na tear gas na viboko tumechapwa, watu wameharibu mzigo nyingi.
Speaking during a clean-up exercise at the market that had been closed for failing to adhere to safe hygiene measures and social distancing, the traders say they are now ready to adhere and observe measures by the Ministry of Health.
Sasa nashangaa hasara yenye tumeenda huku ni kama 70 million tukihesabu traders wenye wako hapa ndani na mizigo zenye tunaletage. Kwa sababu kama mimi mwenyewe peke yangu mahindi yangu ilikuwa ni ya 1280 kutoka Tanzania kufika hapa, na sasa yenyewe imekauka, na ule mwingine na hiyo mwingine kwa sababu sikukausha peke yangu.
Hata hatukuwa tumepewa notice, tuligundua tunachapwa na tear gas. Saa hata tumeenda hasara juu vitu zingine hata zimeharibika. On Wednesday morning ndio tumekuja kutoa vitu zetu na kinasukuma vitu zingine kama nyanya zimeharibika. Sasa leo tulikuwa na general cleaning.
However, nominated Kiambu MCA Jane Waithera says the market gets crowded during the market days when traders from Murang'a, Nairobi, Kitui and Machakos flock the market when coming to buy vegetables.
Siku ya leo wacha tufanye takeaway kama vile watu wa hoteli. Saa hii hakuna kukulia kwa hoteli, hata saa hii hakuna kununua ndani ya soko. Ukitaka kitu tunaweka mgogoteni, tunakutana pale kwa kwaheri, tunakuwekea vitu kama unaenda Ukabani, kama unaenda Murang'a, tunakutana Blue Post, tunachukua ile kitu uko naye.
She says they would now deliver goods to those customers at their boundaries, saying the takeaway system was the way to go. She has further asked Nairobi traders not to bring second-hand clothes in the market, having been already banned. All right, we take a very short break, but we'll be right back with more news. Don't go too far. All right, let's take a look at our international front. Empty offices, streets and shops in cities around the world are becoming the new normal as the impact of the coronavirus outbreak on the global economy is starting to show. Some governments are working on mammoth stimulus packages to avoid the worst possible outcome. VOA's Mariama Diallo has more.
In the United States, nearly 3.3 million people applied for unemployment benefits last week, more than 4 times the previous record set in 1982, according to the U.S. Labor Department. Yet, President Trump is maintaining an upbeat message.
The country wants to get back to work. Our country was built to get back to work. We don't have a country where they say, hey, let's close it down for 2 years. We can't do that. It's not our country.
With layoffs increasing, cash payments and a significant expansion of unemployment benefits were included in the massive $2 trillion relief bill put forth by the U.S. Congress. Ian Smith, who recently lost his job at a wine shop, says the stimulus package is not enough.
If banks are going to be able to be bailed out at a whim, if airlines and cruise ships are able to be bailed out at a whim, but the working class folks who are making this country run, who are literally on the front lines every day during this crisis, aren't able to get even a substantial living wage through this bailout, then that's really disappointing and upsetting.
India has also announced a $22.6 billion economic package to try and ensure that no one goes hungry during its nationwide lockdown that has left tens of millions of poor people struggling.
We rely on our daily wages for food. If there is no work here, then what will we eat and where will we stay? How will we be able to afford food or water here?
Elsewhere in Europe, where Italy and Spain have become the epicenter of the outbreak, the European Commission president announced Thursday a new fund to combat the effects of the new coronavirus.
We launched the Coronavirus Response Investment Initiative to help direct 37 billion mitigate the impact of the crisis, to save lives, jobs and businesses.
She says what's done now matters in the lives of so many dealing with the consequences of the coronavirus outbreak. Mariama Diallo, VOA News, Washington.
Now, with the global COVID-19 death toll surging past 28,000 people this week, accelerated efforts to develop coronavirus treatments are primarily focused on adapting existing drugs intended to fight other diseases. VOA's Brian Pardon reports that the medications being tested focus on 3 areas.
Older malaria drugs, chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine, are being used on a trial basis to try to kill off the coronavirus in early stages of infection.
This drug interferes with the virus's ability to enter the host cell and makes the cell less hospitable to the virus. And then if the virus is not effective at infecting the cell, it would not be as effective in reproducing and creating more copies.
This is a drug combination that President Donald Trump called a game changer, but scientists caution more study is needed to verify results and warn these drugs are potentially toxic. Another drug called remdesivir that proved ineffective to treat Ebola patients shows promise against the coronavirus. It also prevents the virus from entering the host cell and reproducing. Among drugs being tested to treat the coronavirus symptoms is a rheumatoid arthritis medication called Kevzara. This drug relieves the life-threatening congestion in the lungs by reducing the body's immune response that is causing inflammation as it tries to fight the infection.
They interfere with an important part of the inflammatory cascade, which is part of the body's defense mechanism in response to an overwhelming infection.
Large-scale trials of these drugs are underway to test their effectiveness and determine possible side effects that could be worse than the cure. Convalescent plasma trials have also begun in the U.S. to treat seriously ill coronavirus patients. This involves extracting antibodies from blood plasma of coronavirus patients that have fully recovered and injecting them into ill patients.
What we're doing is this low-tech, old-style solution of taking it from people, just like people did before antibiotics were invented.
However, doctors involved in past plasma transfer say it was not effective on the seriously ill and recommend it more for prevention and early treatment. Infectious disease experts say finding an effective coronavirus treatment could take months, while developing a vaccine to prevent infection could take more than a year. Brian Padden, VOA News, Washington.
All right, let's take a look at the world of sports. Now, Now, Johanna Omolo Foundation, in a brilliant gesture amid the looming curfew imposed by the Kenyan government, donated foodstuffs to families in Dandora affected by the coronavirus pandemic. Starting by Harambee Stars international player Johanna Omolo, the organization distributed food to the most affected families, more so the casual workers, including masons, mamafua, and many more. The Johanna Omolo Foundation also runs a menstrual health management program in Dandora, where they donate sanitary towels to over 300 girls every month across different schools in the region, including Dandora Girls, Tomboya Primary, Good Shepherd, and Starlight Senior. In addition to that, they are nurturing talent in Dandora through an incubation soccer academy for boys and girls started in 2017 with a vision to provide opportunities for young players to play, learn, and enjoy soccer. All right, this is where we wrap up Ibru Primetime News this Sunday evening. Thank you so much for choosing Ibru to keep you informed. As the Ministry of Health encourages you, kindly stay safe and stay at home, and also practice safe hygiene measures. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Diana Rachel Mbugua. Our sign language interpreter for tonight has been Joyce Werimo. Good evening.